So students, last day we have discussed about the that coiling, how DNA is packaged, and today we will discuss the genetic search, how genetic material was discovered. Nowadays it is known to us, but there are a series of experiments here to identify which is the genetic material. So we will discuss this today. So students, you can see, so series of experiments have been done to find out which is the genetic material. Now, the most preliminary experiments, the most significant preliminary experiments were done by Frederick Griffith, clear in 1928. What he did, he took the bacteria called Streptococcus pneumoniae. This is the bacteria which causes strep pneumonia. Clear? So he took that bacteria, the culture of that bacteria, Streptococcus pneumoniae, and the Streptococcus pneumoniae, he found that there are two types. One is having an outer covering called capsule, which produces a shiny colony, clear, and other does not have that capsule, so does not produce that shiny colony. Now, those who have that outer covering called capsule, they are pathogenic or virulent. So they are called S type. Clear? So S type produce the smooth colony. Why they have produced the smooth colony? Due to this capsule present outside the cell. But these R type, which is the other type, which produces rough colony since this capsule is absent. Now, these S type, which is produce smooth colony, are virulent. That means they are pathogenic. That means they can cause the disease. But the R type, which is not virulent, clear, they cannot cause rough one without capsule. They cannot cause disease, that pneumonia. So he performed the experiment with sand. They have different strains like S1, S2, S3, and that like that of R1, R2, R3. So finally the experiment was done with S3 strain and R2 strain. Clear? S3 and R2 were taken, and what he did, first of all, he injected this virulent S type on the mice. Clear? He took that virulent S type and he injected it on the mice, and what he found, that the mice died. Clear? So living S type was taken, it was injected in the mouse, and the mice died. Now what it implies, that it can cause pneumonia, and that is why the mice died. So it is the virulent type. Next he took living R, that is R2 strain, clear, of the living bacteria, and he also injected that in a separate group of mice, and he found that nothing happened to mouse. Clear? The mouse survived. So why the mouse survived? Because the R strain is not pathogenic, R strain cannot produce pneumonia, and that is why the mouse survived. Next what he did, he took heat killed smooth and injected on the mouse. Heat killed smooth, because earlier we have seen that smooth is a virulent strain, and because when they are giving the living smooth, the mice is died, so it is virulent, it can cause pneumonia. Then what he did, he killed this smooth bacteria with heat, and then finally injected that in the mice. And since the bacteria was dead one, it cannot produce the disease, so the mouse survived. Clear? So when they taking heat kill smooth and injected in the mouse survived, as because now this heat kill smooth cannot cause that disease. Now what he did, he took the heat kill smooth and living R. So heat kill smooth individually, what happened? The mouse survived. Now, when living R was taken, since R was not virulent, not pathogenic, then also mice survived. he took heat kill smooth along with the living R and injected in the mice. Now surprisingly, it was seen that the mice died. Why this group of mice died? Because he could not conclude that what is actually going, but he concluded that something is moving from this heat kill smooth and it is transforming the R to smooth one, that is virulent one, and that is why the mice is dying. So what he concluded? He concluded that something is moving from this heat kill smooth. Clear? The heat kill smooth, something is there which is moving into the R, and this R is living one, so it is moving into the R, and what it is doing finally, the R is transforming into smooth, and finally it becomes virulent and pathogenic, and now it is causing the death of the mice. So what he told that it is there transforming. He could not find out what it is, but he told that something is moving from the heat kill smooth to R, and that is transforming R to smooth, and that is why the mice are dying. So he called it, but he could not find out the biochemical nature of that particular substance. He called it transforming principle. He called some transforming principle is there, which is transforming, when changing that R, living R to living smooth R. Living R to smooth one, and that is why, since smooth are pathogenic, they are killing the mice. So this is what Frederick Griffith has done. Next, in search of genetic material came three scientists. After 16 years of Griffith, three scientists came. They are MacLeod, McCarty and Avery. Avery, MacLeod and McCarty. Here, three scientists, they started to find out the biochemical nature of that transforming principle. So they started to find out the biochemical nature of the transforming principle. Now what they did, they performed the experiment with heat kill smooth and living R, but they added some enzymes. What they added? They added heat kills. They take heat kill smooth. Clear? They take protease. Then they take R, and finally they injected that into mice. So what are taken? Heat kill smooth bacteria is taken. Protease enzyme is taken. R is taken. Clear? So first of all, they break the proteins by the protease. So they used enzymes to break the certain components of the heat kill smooth. Clear? First of all, they break the protein part of the heat kill smooth by protease, and then along with the R, they injected into the mice. And what was seen that there was no change. That means that ultimately the mice died because the transformation was there. Next, they break the RNA of the heat kill smooth by enzyme RNase, and then they inserted it into, along with the S type, they inserted in the mice, and then also nothing new happened. The mice died. Clear? So transformation is still going on. So protease, when they broke down protease, then also transformation was there. When they break down RNA, then also transformation was there. Now finally what they did, they used DNase. That means they use DNase to break down the DNA present in the heat kill smooth, and now along with the R, they used it injected in the mice. And now, surprisingly, it was seen that the mice did not die, it survived. So, why it survived? Because the mice did not die, it survived. Why it survived? Because transformation didn't occur. Now, why transformation didn't occur? So, which component is preventing the transformation? That means when DNA is broken up, transformation is not occurring. So, transformation is occurring due to DNA. So, when they are using DNAs, they are using DNAs with the heat kill smooth. Clear? And they are breaking down all the DNA present in the heat kill smooth. And when they are using that with the R in the injecting in the mice, then the mice survived as because there was no transformation of the R to S. So they concluded that DNA is the factor, DNA is the transforming principle which is converting the R to S, and thus they find out the biochemical nature of the transforming principle. So biochemical nature of the transforming principle was done by the nature of found out by three scientists, Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy, by using the enzymes like protease, RNAs and DNAs. So when they found that when they are using DNA with heat kill smooth and breaking down all the DNA present in the heat kill smooth, now when they are inserting along with the R in the mice, the mice is surviving as because there was no transformation of the R to smooth. So they found out that biochemical nature of the transforming principle is DNA. Next experiment was done by Alfred Hersey and Martha Chase, who concluded or confirmed that DNA is the genetic material. So next experiment was done by Alfred Hersey and Martha Chase, who confirmed that DNA is the genetic material. Now how do they confirm? They took the bacteriophage, T2 bacteriophage. Bacteriophage means these are the groups of viruses which attach bacteria. So bacteriophage are the groups of viruses which attach bacteria. Clear? So they took that type T2 phage bacteria and they took the Escherichia coli. The bacteria was the Escherichia coli and the virus was the T2 phage. Hersey and Chase, they raised T2 bacteriophage over two different bacterial colonies. Clear? So two different bacterial colonies they took and they raised the T2 phage over two bacterial colonies. Clear? One, the medium where the one having radioactive phosphorus. Clear? Here you can see one having radioactive phosphorus. In one colony they grow over the radioactive phosphorus and other they grow on the radioactive sulfur, that is 35S sulfur. Clear? And 32P phosphorus. We know that DNA, already we have learned that DNA contains that sugar phosphate backbone. So when they are producing the new DNA and this radioactive DNA get incorporated, radioactive phosphorus get incorporated in the DNA. So this becomes now a radioactive DNA. And protein, we know that protein, certain amino acids of protein like methionine contain sulfur. So when they are growing this in the medium containing 35S sulfur, that is radioactive sulfur, the methionine of the protein, that means the protein coat is getting radioactive. Now radioactive phosphorus, so 32 become component of the DNA of the bacteriophage, and the radioactive sulfur, 35S sulfur, got incorporated in the capsid of the proteins of the bacteriophage. Now, the two types of bacteriophage are introduced and infected in the bacterial colonies of E. coli. Now they are infected. They are introduced in the bacterial colony of E. coli. You can see here they are introduced in the bacterial colony of the E. coli. So what will happen? First of all, they will get attached with the bacterial colony. That means they will adhere on the surface of the bacterial colony. Clear? Next, what will do? They will inject the DNA in the nucleic material inside the cell. So infect the bacterial colonies. These two cultures were taken out and now after a certain time these two cultures are separately, these are done separately, totally separately they are done, and now they are taken out and they are agitated or blended. Now, why they are agitated or blended? Because they are only simply adhering, this bacteriophage, this outer protein covering of the bacteriophage is simply adhering on the bacterial cell. Clear? So, when you agitate or blend, they undergoes blending, then these simple adherents, clear, they will get separated. So, they will get separated from remaining adhered on the surface. And now what they did, they centrifuged. That means they rotated it in a high speed, clear, in a solution. They took them and rotated in a high speed, that is centrifugation. And we know due to centrifugation what will happen? The heavier part will go at the bottom, clear, and the pellet, and the lighter part will remain at the supernatant. Now which one is heavier here? Obviously the bacterial cell is heavier than virus. So we can assume that bacterial cell will be there in the pellet and the other part which is outside the bacteria will remain in the supernatant. Now what they seen that the part where the phosphorus was radioactive, that means DNA was radioactive, that part the radioactivity was found in the pellet. That means this is in the bacterial cell. This is associated with the bacterial cell. But where the sulfur, that is radioactive sulfur, that means protein part was radioactivated, that part they found the radioactivity in the supernatant. And we know that bacteria, since bacteria is heavier, so that bacteria will remain in the pellet. So since the supernatant is having that radioactivity, that means this part haven't entered in the bacteria. And here since the pellet is having the radioactive part, so that means this part it has entered in the bacteria. And what is this part? This is the radioactive phosphorus, that is the DNA is the radioactive here. So when we are getting DNA in the pellet, that means the DNA, the radioactive DNA has entered in the bacteria and we are getting the radioactive sulfur on the supernatant. That means radioactive sulfur or protein has not entered in the bacteria. So this confirms that the genetic material is DNA. So ultimately they concluded that genetic material is nothing but DNA. Because whichever is entering in the bacteria, that will regulate the bacteria and that will bacterial chromosome and that will help in production of numerous virus. Clear? So this is the genetic material. DNA is the genetic material which we find in the radioactive DNA. We find in the pellet, so it has entered in the bacteria. So this is the genetic material, and radioactive sulfur we are finding it in the supernatant. So it hasn't entered in the bacteria, and so it is not this is radioactive sulfur. That means protein part is not the genetic material. So they confirmed that. So finally they confirmed that the genetic material is DNA.